Today we'll be looking at the 24th episode of MLP's second season, the first time the series ever delved into a murder mystery themed episode, only this time it's a piece of cake that was eaten. Yeah, I really don't know how to begin videos. I just want to rewatch the episode again. This is Mystery on the Friendship Express. The episode begins with the cake showing off their latest creation for a baking contest in Canterlot, a gigantic cake called the Marzipan Mascarone Meringue Madness, or the The cake is so heavy, even Big Macintosh is struggling to carry it all on his own.
Beg pardon, but could we maybe move things along? This here cake's a mite heavy, right, Big Macintosh?
Yep.
Funny, since he dragged a literal house in the previous episode, though that may have been an effect of the love poison that was in that episode.
Alrighty then, Big Mac. To the train depot.
You see this right here? The helmet that Pinkie Pie is wearing in this scene? It's perfect.
This precious cargo you're carrying.
Yes, it took months of planning and testing.
I would hate for it to...
Oh. Don't worry, Mr. and Mrs. Cake. Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, a little
So with the help of the main six, the cake makes it safely to the train, even if they have to take the wall off of one of the cars to get it in.
Now all we have to do is get it in.
After the intro, the other members of the main six tell Pinkie they'll be joining her for the contest. This causes Pinkie to describe how delicious the truly is. This is one of the many things that has stayed consistent throughout the show. Pinkie is really good at describing how good food is. And she does make the cake sound really tasty.
All that rich, creamy goodness of the marzipan combined with the tart tanginess of the mascarpone blended perfectly with the smooth, silky sweetness of the meringue. That's why I call the marzipan mascarpone meringue madness the Sure to win first prize.
This is not so. For I, Gustave Legrand, do challenge your crude cake to a duel of delectable delicacies against my exceptionally exquisite eclairs.
Oh, now the game is afoot as the Frenchman arrives to school these foolish Americans on how to make proper, delicious confectionery cuisine. Oh, well, in that case, I'm perfectly okay with them then. I myself am French-Canadian from Quebec, so I'm perfectly fine with them being in the contest. At least they're not Americans.
Donut Joe, what are you doing in Ponyville?
Picking up the final, all-important ingredient for my contest entry, Donutopia! And with these super sprinkles, my donuts are gonna dunk all the other lousy desserts, steal first prize.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, Donut Joe is gonna show this frog, whatever, and these little ladies how true confectionery arts are done on the hard streets of New York, or Manhattan, or Canterlot. That's where he's from originally, right, kid? Like from the end of the first season finale? That's right?
And lastly, we have an elderly mule named Mulia Mile with her creation, a mousse made out of mousse chocolate.
It will trample all your treats, be given first prize, and make me the greatest chef in Equestria.
She kind of sounds like Jenny's mom, you know? XJ9! You know, in a weird way, I was gonna say she kind of sounds like him from the Powerpuff Girls.
It sure looks like we're in for a delicious competition tomorrow. Maybe we should all settle in for a good night's sleep. Wait! Didn't you hear those chefs? We have to protect... I know for super sure that is the best dessert in all Equestria. And I know that they know it too.
You want to stand guard? Go for it. We're going to bed.
Of course Pinkie's hair would react like that. It happened before in episodes like It's About Time. I think that Pinkie might need something to do while she stands and guards the cake. Like maybe play a Nintendo DS.
Stop, you saboteur! Huh? Who turned off the moon? Don't go near that cake, thief! Stop, thief! Oh, are you okay, thief? Overreacting my hoof. I knew I was gonna have to keep a close eye on you, and that's just what I'm gonna do.
Of course she sleeps standing up. 'Cause she a horsey.
The cake! Oh, you look marvelous.
You better hold off on giving yourself an award just yet, Pinkie. Look.
Look at what? Huh?
Pinkie screams, and she wakes up the rest of the train passengers, revealing that the cake has been compromised.
It's the marzipan mascarpone meringue madness. It's been mutilated.
Well, having read many mystery novels, I know that the only way to discover the culprit is to investigate.
Exactly.
Her head was in a bubble. Kinda like Tara Strong's character in Powerpuff Girls. And now, the best part of the episode. Pinkie imagining all of the other chefs destroying the cake as she accuses every single one of them. All modeled after various genres of media. First up, she imagines Gustave Legrand as a black and white movie villain with a top hat and cape as she is put onto the train tracks and he puts the cake onto a conveyor belt to be obliterated in a saw blade.
You were tied to the train tracks. How are you now here?
Huh. Guess that isn't a totally silly question.
Then she accuses Joe in a James Bond parody as she calls him Con Main. I guess he likes his milkshakes shaken, not stirred.
Joe is not sleek, stealthy con maid. He's big, gruff, and messy.
Hey!
Although, you would look rather dapper in a tuxedo.
And lastly, Pinkie accuses Mulia in a parody of martial arts cinema.
Putting an end to the cake's dreams of taking first prize. Huh. I hope you're proud of yourself, Mulia.
Pinkie, stop. This is ridiculous. Look at her.
So why did this criminal devour the marzipan mascarpone meringue madness while leaving this trio of tasty treats untouched? Now I have no idea who done it.
So Twilight takes over the investigation as she asks Pinkie to retrace her steps. Pinkie taking that quite literally.
Aha. Our first clue. The conductor, huh? But that doesn't make any sense.
I take it Twilight has been binging her fan-made crossover with Phoenix Wright to get as smart as an average law-abiding, justice-seeking detective. After Pinkie confesses to sleeping by the cake for the rest of the night, Twilight declares that they shall reveal who the true culprit is.
Remember how when you chased the suspect to the caboose, they suddenly disappeared? That's because they flew away. But the thief did leave a little something behind, didn't you, Rainbow Dash?
I don't even like cake.
Raced a pony to the engine, where you thought you saw the conductor shoveling coal. But that wasn't the conductor at all. It was Fluttershy.
Oh my. You're going down, Fluttershy.
Wow, I guess TV Tropes was right. You really need to beware of the nice ones. Fluttershy, such a conniving pony. After all this time, who would have known?
You were guarding the cake when the curtains mysteriously closed. But that's no mystery. That's magic. But when the thief tried to make their great escape, they left a little addition to the portrait. Has any pony else noticed that Rarity is wearing her hair rather differently today?
Fine, I'm guilty. I wear false eyelashes.
Scandalous!
Oh, and I took a bite of the cake.
Oh, okay, that's perfectly fine. At least you were honest about it. Interesting bit of note, they actually did plan on having Applejack admit that she had a bite of the cake too, but they cut it for time reasons. I think it's more appropriate that way. It fits that she would be the obvious choice considering how gaga she was for the cake at the beginning of the episode. Plus, being the element of honesty and all, she probably would have admitted it fairly early on. And as for the other desserts, Pinkie deduces rather quickly, that the other chefs are responsible for that.
Gustav has mousse in his moustache. And Joe has eclair in his hair. And Yulia has sprinkles in her wrinkles.
Ew. That's gross. And so, all the bakers decide to put their baked goods together into one big dessert and win the prize together, ending with our lesson for the episode about not jumping to conclusions. With that, every creature gathers to have a piece of the cake, including Celestia. Appropriate, since she loves the stuff.
Care for a bite?
I don't mind if I do.
Overall, this was still a pretty fun episode. It's a good mystery story that doesn't reveal the answers right away. Sure, parts of it can come off a bit rushed, but I can look past that kind of thing. I am the Pony Fanboy after all! All the characters feel pretty in character. Pinkie and Twilight have such great chemistry here, and even the new characters are pretty funny. Plus, Pinkie and Twilight with Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson hats. They look adorable. I mean, I guess if you had to nitpick, maybe the pacing can be a bit rushed in the beginning and the ending sections, but I think the bulk of the episode holds up really well. It may not be a standout episode to some, but it's an entertaining one nonetheless. I can see why a lot of fans still really like this episode. Tune in next time to Pony Fanboy Reviews, where we'll be looking at the first surrogate Christmas episode of MLP, Heartwarming Eve. But until then, I'm the Pony Fanboy, I fanboy over ponies, and you just listen.